Okay, I just want to do a little update because the last time I had filmed anything was my second round of chemo. So I just want to give you guys an update on what had happened. So I was scheduled to do 4 rounds of chemo. Um, One time I really wasn't feeling good, so we had to put off one for an extra week. And I went in, had the chemo, did a CAT scan after that, and things were all right to go for surgery. So on July 1st of last year, I went in for a thyrectomy. So they were going to take out my thymus gland and then do a cleanup around the diaphragm. If they had to, they were going to replace a piece of the diaphragm. Also, to remove any of the tumors that were on the outside of the lung, which is called the pleura. So I went in for surgery, came out. Uh, once so much. I had a catheter, I had an epidural, I had a lot of stuff. When my mom came in, she had let me know first. I believe the doctor told me, but I was so out of it, I didn't remember. But my mom came in and she told me, Shona, you do know that they didn't do anything, they didn't go with the surgery. So basically, what happened, they opened me up. When he got inside of there was much more cancer. Like he said, little tiny spots all over my lung that they couldn't see on the PET scan because they were so small, and it was just much more cancer than they had originally thought. When I say it, it like freaks me out. But so they didn't proceed with it. Basically, sent me home to heal up, and that's what I did. When I went back to is a very hard thing to deal with, especially when the whole plan was, okay, Sean, all you gotta do is get through one more chemo, go to your surgery, and then you're done. And I was so petrified of surgery because it was huge. I mean, they still did cut me open. I have a cut from like almost the top of my back down and around and underneath. By the way, I'm still kind of numb in that area from the whole thing. Mm. So that happened. I came back. I started doing some playing around with fasting. I started doing some IVC, which is intravenous vitamin C. When I asked my doctor, because there's a G6PD blood test that you have to have um, to make sure that you're okay to do high doses of vitamin C. I called my doctor. I asked him, could he, order the test so I can go and, at an outside place at a wellness center and have the intravenous high dose vitamin C. And he said he didn't feel comfortable, that it wasn't going to cure me, it wasn't going to do anything for me, and he wasn't going to give me the test. Went to my primary care. Primary care did the test. I went ahead, did the IVC. From that point on, I felt some kind of way about him. He had his own agenda on what he was going to do. I did everything they told me to do, and it didn't work, and it wasn't anybody's fault. But, I mean, you tell me you're stage 4, all we can do for you is give you something to control symptoms, and, you'll stay on chemo basically for the rest of your life. I couldn't do IVC because he felt like it wasn't going to do anything. I mean, it was coming out of my pocket. Those are not cheap. They're around $300 to $400 for each infusion. So I did a few of those, but I found that it was hurting my joints like a couple days after. So I just, for now, that's not my body. It wasn't good. Not saying that's not for everybody else. If you can get them, you have the money to do them, and they make you feel good, do them. But for me, I don't know. I was feeling like maybe it was too much for my immune system. So anyhow, I went back a couple times. Was experiencing a lot of pain here in my collarbone. I ended up going there, sitting in the emergency room. They did a scan on me. They said I had grown since May, but they didn't see anything crazy there that I would be having that pain. I don't know why. That's when the real pain issues started. So, fast forward, in December, I went for a shot of octreotide, which is a somatostatin. So it blocks a certain protein, or I'm sorry, a certain hormone that they use it to only stop it from growing. It hasn't been proven, like, rarely does it shrink tumors, but it has been proven to hold stuff in place. So I was like, all right, cool. That mixed with, whatever I could do on the other end, maybe that'd be a win-win. Stop it from growing and then do my thing. And, maybe this will work out. So I took the octreotide. Um, the day after I took it, I had extreme explosive diarrhea for days. Like literally, like nothing. I didn't even think it could happen, to the point where it's a little graphic. It was bright yellow and just oil, just bright yellow oil, which was a sign of a problem with either your pancreas or your gallbladder is not making the enzymes, to break down the oils or something. I'm not sure the science, but something was going on. So they put me on, it was pancreatic enzymes. So this was like 9, 10 days. Like this wasn't healthy. I was getting scared. They put me on Creon, which is a artificial enzyme that comes from pigs. So it's a pancreas enzyme from a pig. So I took that for a few days, and the diarrhea stopped, and I took it for a few days. I'm not really hype on taking medication. If I have to, I will. If it's ordered, I will. I took it for a couple days. The symptoms subsided. And I told my doctor then, like, I can't live my life like this. Like, I can't be at the toilet. And he's like, oh, you can see a gastroenterologist, and, they can put you on medication for that. But here comes the medication roll. The cycle, this medicine for this and this medicine for this. So, um, in December, I told them we're gonna have to figure something else out because I can't do that. That was horrific. It was horrible. It was worse than chemo. Um, so I decided to switch my doctors up here because I was going to another city for my care. And because, at this point it's just chemo. So I can get chemo here if I can get chemo there. Plus, me and his rapport was not, the best. And I need to have somebody that I can trust, somebody that I feel like cares for me, somebody that hears me. That's very important, especially when you're going through like a deadly diagnosis. Like you have to have that person. You have to have that relationship with your doctor where you can confide in them. You can tell them what you're feeling, how you feel like moving forward, what your fears are, what your beliefs are, and they can, they have to do their jobs, but they can also be supportive. Especially, and when I say this is because I'm a stage 4 incurable, inoperable cancer, which puts me in a different realm when it comes to cancer. So, we decided, I got a new doctor, and we decided that she said that it was okay for us to just stay on what they call surveillance. So they'll just keep an eye on it. If things start to change, then I would go on what they call a maintenance, which would be some type of a chemotherapy that would, put me in a better place. But until she feels like that's necessary, I can stay on surveillance, which is great because this will give me an opportunity. I am going with the doctor's advice to stay on surveillance, but it will give me an opportunity to do these other things that I've been researching, and that people with my same exact cancer, same stage, same, demographic, she's a woman around the same age, basically is almost cancer free. But beside that, she may have some cancer, but she's living her life. And it's all about getting more time, and that time being quality time. So that's basically the speed up to get me where I'm at now. I didn't film for a while because I felt like, oh, nobody's watching this, but it's not for me to be a star or for me to get monetized. I just want somebody to see this because it's very hard if you're going to find a doctor that's going to say, hey, why don't you try these things in conjunction with this? You know what I mean? Or if this is how you feel, Miss Black, do, do those other things and then we'll consider it. And this is exactly what I found here. I don't want to say my oncologist's name, but she's wonderful. She listens to me. She's supportive. I have an open relationship where I can tell her the things that I'm doing. I'm not doing anything crazy that I shouldn't be doing. I'm just doing fasting and dieting. And my next scan, the last scan that I had a scan in January. And then I had a scan in March. The scan in March showed no growth since January. So she was surprised. She said, I'm very surprised, and we're just going to keep you on surveillance unless anything happens in the meantime. If you start feeling really bad or you develop any symptoms, come back and then we'll change. So that's that. That is what's been going on. And here we are, the continuation. God makes all things work for the good to those who believe in his name. And I'll see you soon. Bye.